Okay, just give it a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, but it says live on YouTube.
Okay, so it still has a bar going, but
Yeah, it says live on YouTube on my screen as well.
okay, mine as well.
Okay. So the meeting will now come to order. Welcome to the meeting of the Town of Hillsborough Board of Adjustments. It's the 14th of April. My name is Bill Harris. I'm the chair of the board. Tom, can you go around and confirm attendance and check on our quorum?
Yes, Bill Harris,
Here.
Rob Bray, absent. Sean Keogh,
Present.
Raul Herrera, absent. Joe Becker.
Here.
Okay. Jen Sykes,
Here.
Dustin Williams.
Here.
So we have a quorum.
Perfect. Okay, so let's look at the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay, then let's go ahead. I guess the first item there on the agenda is taking a look at the minutes, correct?
Yes, sir.
So has everybody had a chance to take a look at the minutes from February, from that meeting? Are there
Yes.
any issues with the minutes as presented there?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Okay, could we have a motion? Jen moves to.
Move approve.
Okay, a second.
Second.
Dustin seconds. Tom, would you take the roll call vote for us, please?
Yes, sir. Bill Harris,
Aye.
Sean Keogh,
Aye.
Joe Becker,
Aye.
Jen Sykes,
Aye.
Dustin Williams.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Vote unanimous.
So the next item on our agenda, then the only other item on our agenda is the election of officers for chairman and the vice chair. I will open it up. It's wide open to anybody who wants it. If we could have some nominations. I see Tom is smiling, so he knows how this goes. Okay, is anybody interested?
I would nominate Bill if he's interested again.
I mean, I'll be happy to do it again for another year if nobody else wants it, but I'm perfectly willing to let anybody else do it if you have a desire to do it or you're trying to build your resume for anything future action. If not, I will be happy to do it.
I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
I take Sean as a second then.
Okay. So
Well, let someone make a motion. Oh, since Bill's just offering. Well, Dustin, no, you made.
Dustin made an offer and I thought Sean seconded it.
Yep.
So Dustin, you made the motion.
Yes.
I'm just making sure it's on record.
Let's get that on record. I never know what will be my last motion or second. So.
All right. And Sean seconded.
I will second.
Okay. Can we have a vote?
And we'll take a vote. Bill Harris.
Aye.
Sean Keogh.
Aye.
Joe Becker.
Aye.
Jen Sykes.
Aye.
Dustin Williams.
Aye.
Okay, vote unanimous.
Okay, so now we turn to the vice chair. Sean, you're the current sitting chair. Would you have any interest in redoing it for another year?
Well, so far it hasn't had any effect on me. So I'm comfortable remaining vice.
Okay. Is anybody else interested in the position? I see no agreement there. So I will nominate Sean Keogh for another term as the vice chair. Jen seconds. Could you take a vote for us, Tom?
Yes,
Well,
sir.
I'm not sure Paige agreed there, Bill.
I think he was cheering for Sean, honestly. I think she's cool with it.
I thought he was going, Sean.
Yep.
What I heard.
Okay, Bill Harris.
Aye.
Sean Keogh.
Aye.
Joe Becker.
Aye.
Jen Sykes,
Aye.
Dustin Williams.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. That was relatively painless.
Um,
So,
Joe,
the-
has your companion consented to being on this meeting?
He's signed all the legal documents that are required, I believe. Yes, but yeah, he says, I'm okay. I'll do whatever is asked. Yes.
Oh,
Now, was that a paw print with two notaries?
Exactly. Yes. I just completed the attorney notary class. So
Uh,
yes, that was his notarized signature right
All
there.
right.
okay. Thanks.
I apologize, Jen. I attributed that to Paige, and apparently I've maligned Paige.
No, it's
so I'm
Paige.
sorry.
This is like she's out back because she's been sick, and I figure it's going to be easier if something goes wrong to be outside right now. She's now barking at bees.
Mm.
Um,
Not eating them, at least. She's just barking at them.
Don't scare them away.
Nope.
You need them.
Okay, so the last thing, I guess, are staff updates.
Okay. I've got several, and Jen, I hope I won't step on your toes. We
Nope.
had a staff meeting this morning. According to Margaret, Jen, you're going to be staying on as the planning board representative on the Board of Adjustment till December.
Yep.
Usually there's an appointment made at the March planning board meeting, and that didn't happen this time, or they just pushed it out to December.
We pushed it out for this in Parks and Rec because of the virtual pieces. The two of us who are on those two boards, both of us term limit out of the planning board in December.
That was it.
So we were like, just instead of trying to find somebody between now and December, or between just to do that during the virtual world,
Yes.
Lisa Frazier and I are both sitting on the other boards until we term limit out.
Okay. Dustin, we're still trying to, we have advertised twice. We've had one person express interest in the planning board first and the Board of Adjustment second. I had some discussions with someone late last year that I thought might be a good board member. I've sent them an email last week. Are you interested? They wanted to know what the time commitment would be. I kind of gave them an idea of what they'd be getting into. I have not heard back yet. So we're still looking. And if I don't hear something back from this person this coming week, I'm probably going to go ahead and reach out if Margaret doesn't need the guy, or like I said, planning board was his first choice. Board of Adjustment was second. Some other updates from us or from me is we may need to start looking at the updating the rules of procedure for the board to make sure anything in there is in alignment with the new 160D statutes. Although I understand from today's staff meeting, there are some, there's language in the UDO now that required by the statutes that addresses ethics issues with not only board members, but staff now. So that might be something we start looking into, maybe even updating them a little bit. UDO changes are moving forward relative to Chapter 160D of the statutes. Their first draft is going to joint public hearing Thursday, tomorrow night. And I think sometime after June, once those changes get adopted, the town is going to start looking at some additional conditional zoning districts that can be applied for those special projects that come along. The Board of Adjustment will be over all special use permits. So everything that used to go to the town Board of Commissioners as a special use permit will now come to the Board of Adjustment. At the same time, the planning director is going through with the planning board to try, and one of the other planners here to try to determine what things that are special uses, do they really need to be special uses in certain districts. So that change is being looked at as well.
Yeah, and I can add, that's our public hearing tomorrow night for planning. We've done a first pass on the planning board of going through the permitted use table and had 2 rounds of discussion about what we think are special use permits. I know like the example that we had the most debate over was like a daycare that's in a person's house that's less than 20 people, for example. But a lot of them moved into permitted by right.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, a big move is this board will see a lot more of the site plans. And there's 3 districts tentatively identified that would still go through the joint public hearing. That would be more legislative in nature, but most everything else is moving into what was called quasi judicial and is now changed to evidentiary, and will be coming to this board. And the other big thing I noticed in it, because I was reading it yesterday and today, is we don't hear appeals from the Historic Commission on this board anymore.
Oh yeah, they're looking at changing that to making that going straight to Superior Court.
Yeah.
Just like Board of Adjustment decisions.
Yep.
That'll be interesting to see how that works. Just
No
checking
comments.
off here. We're starting to have a lot of people asking questions about doing things, and just about everything they want to do is a conditional use now. So, we've got a church, subdivisions, a gas station, retail, non-residential use of a historic structure in the historic district, which Margaret said we're looking at taking that use out, and darn if we didn't have somebody that's looking at buying a house to do exactly something that would be allowed under that. So
yeah, and I think there's already one building that's like that in there anyway.
That provision's only been used for, I think, maybe 2 or 3. It's a very limited place you can do it.
Yeah, because I think Margaret was talking about trying to come up with some special zone for that to just knock it all out.
Some way to handle that.
How is the Burwell school zoned?
It's zoned R20. I think it is I think it's considered I don't know if it's considered a museum.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a situation like what was the lady's name? It was an attorney downtown that had
Von
a law
Hagen.
in an old house.
Von
Judith
Hagen
House.
Law Firm.
It's not her. It's
Judith
the other
Hauser.
side of Margaret Lane, I think. No, it's on the other side of King Street. Gosh, I can't remember her name. I think she's retired.
It's Judith Hauser.
Judith Hauser, that's it. She got a conditional use permit for when you do it. Our ordinance requires you to put like a conservation easement on the property and into the house and the interior. But anyway, so those are some things people are kind of knocking around with us, that would wind up being seen by the Board of Adjustment. From today's staff meeting, I learned that the fire marshal has issued a pit burn permit for Collins Ridge. So they're apparently going to be burning brush in pits on the Collins Ridge site. The permit's good for 30 days.
That's not new, is it? Like I remember back in the beginning
they've done it before. But if you have people ask you what's going on, if they know you're with the board, that what's all the smoke and stuff, they've got a pit burn for 30 days. It was issued Friday, and apparently the train station project is on the move. I think there's going to be a request for qualifications from design professionals going out on that.
Yeah.
So
Is that coming through us?
If they make, right now the train station property is owned agricultural residential. It's in our ETJ, so it's not even annexed yet. It depends on if they zone it to a general use district or if that's one of those where they don't want to do a conditional zone and do a legislative hearing on it where that conditions can be attached. But I really don't know at this point. We'll see what it gets zoned, and no one's answered that question yet. But that's about all I have.
Okay, thank you. Jen, do you have anything from the planning board, or did you already get all your?
Yeah, I think I think the big one is tomorrow night's public hearing, and going through the 160D compliance pieces. That does kind of change where a lot of people are probably used to having to go instead of going to the planning board. It would be Board of Adjustment for site reviews, the historic district piece. And I'm trying to remember what else. When I was going through, I was going to have questions prepped for to kind of call out the permitted use tables being updated. So a lot more is by right in various districts. I think we're also getting rid of some of the zoning districts or condensing them. It wasn't called out in the table, but I know that's in the plan. And then, I think a big piece is, a lot more is going to come through the Board of Adjustment because of the changes in the enabling legislation.
Okay. All right.
Is tomorrow's meeting virtual?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's the public hearing. So that's where people can do public comment, and the packet's online. It is 232 pages.
Sounds
in
fun.
contrast to this one.
Are there any boards meeting in person?
No,
Not yet.
not yet.
Even on the county side, I think they just extended everything out until June again.
One thing on the Board of Adjustment that's being proposed is to reduce the notification ring for variance cases to just the adjoining property owners. You'll recall the variance case from January. It was kind of ridiculous to send notices to everyone within 500 feet of that lady's property for what wound up to be a non-issue. But if it had been an issue, I mean, does someone 500 feet away really care that someone may be wanting to build a little closer to a neighbor's property line or not? Likely not. It also, when you notify people out that far, it gives them sometimes, especially with the evidentiary hearings, the false impression that they're going to be able to
Present information.
And we may need to think about this for conditional use permits too. Is 500 feet too much? I know some jurisdictions that do 1,000. But is that giving the public a false sense that they're going, if I live on the edge of the 500 feet, what standing do I have related to someone that wants to build a gas station over on this piece of property here, 500 feet away? But that's something for the boards to consider. Normally, for Board of quasi-judicial evidentiary hearings, the statutes just say the applicant, the property owner, and the adjoining property owners have to be notified. That's what the statute says. Orange County and Hillsborough have went above and beyond. Some other jurisdictions go above and beyond. Some people do 100 feet. Some people do 300 feet. Some people do 500 feet. Like I said, some people do 1,000 feet. So,
well, that's not a decision for us this evening.
No, that's not a decision for the Board of Adjustment. That's a town policy decision.
Yeah, and I think I know that's one of the areas I know I'm going to have some questions on is that, the notification, getting a little more in depth about some of the standards of evidence discussion as to how it's defined. Should we call it out more clearly in the ordinance? There was one part that I was definitely confused about the language on, where it about like who could even testify in certain cases. So, yeah, and I think that was actually on the legislative side. I have it on notes inside, but there's a lot of just clarifying questions for sure, I think, that are going to be handled tomorrow on this, particularly around those issues of on the planning board. We've already had a couple of rounds of how do you engage the public? What's the level of engagement from the public? Are you stifling speech, whatever? How do you comply with what the rules of the game are? So I think there's going to be more discussion in that area, along with the permitted use table and really some of the, how much oversight does the town in particular want on some of these permits and pieces.
Okay.
That's my guess of how it's going to go tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. So Tom, let me just raise one last thing for you to consider, and I don't know if it's a possibility or if there's any interest.
Mhm.
Jen is currently the planning board rep on the Board of Adjustments, correct?
Yes,
And she's term limiting out of the planning board, so therefore she can no longer be the planning board rep on the Board of Adjustments.
right.
And I don't know if there's any interest on her part. You could talk to her if you have trouble finding some replacements. Could she just not be a regular member of the Board of Adjustments if she wanted to stay here and not be the planning rep? I mean, be the planning board rep and just be a general at-large rep from the community like the rest of us, and then have somebody else appointed from the planning board to be here.
Yeah,
And you don't have to answer that now. I'm just
I
raising
can't.
that- I'm just
I think
raising that as a
yeah.
thing for you to consider, and you can talk to Jen, because as I'm saying, she may not even be interested. And you may have all kinds of things that you've got to consider from the town side, but I'm just raising that as an item to be considered, because she does have a lot of information stored in her brain housing
Sure.
group there, and a lot of expertise that would be, a shame to lose. So I'll
Sure.
just throw that out there for you as something to consider. Okay. Is there anything else then? Because if not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'm going to say move adjourn. I am like the
Jen moves. Do we have a second?
Second.
Sean seconds. Do we all in favor? Everybody's in favor. Do you need to take a roll call, Tom, or is the verbals good enough?
I think that's enough. Who made the motion?
me.
Sean,
When
Jen
in
did.
doubt, always assume any meeting I'm in, I make the motion, unless particularly at the end of the night.
Yeah, Jen made the motion. Sean did the second,
Okay,
and then it was a unanimous vote.
all right.
All right. Thank you
Yep.
all.
Yep, see y'all later.
Good night.
Bye
Take care.
bye, buddy.